Blackheads usually start when pores become clogged with excess oil and dead skin cells, so prevention works best when skincare stays gentle, regular, and simple rather than harsh, aggressive, or constantly changing. Wash acne-prone skin no more than twice a day, and also after heavy sweating, with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water, because frequent washing, rough scrubbing, and irritating products can make acne seem worse instead of better. Do not try to squeeze, scrape, or clean out blackheads at home, because that can worsen inflammation and may increase the risk of marks or scarring. Choose oil-free or non-comedogenic skincare, sunscreen, and makeup when possible. Remove makeup before bed and keep oily hair products away from the face. Over-the-counter ingredients such as salicylic acid can help unclog pores, adapalene can help prevent clogged pores, and benzoyl peroxide can support acne treatment, but these products may cause dryness or irritation at first, so it makes sense to start slowly. Use a light moisturizer if needed, and give the routine several weeks before judging the results. If acne becomes painful, widespread, scar-forming, or does not improve after a reasonable trial of self-care, seeing a dermatologist is sensible. And now the rest of the evening can belong to a story, because in a small retirement town in Oklahoma, where every porch had at least one chair that nobody was technically assigned to, but everybody knew belonged to someone, there lived an 80-year-old widow named Mavis Lou Chandler, who had reached the age where she no longer believed any sentence that began with, "Wouldn't it be nice if?" Because those sentences almost always ended with somebody else carrying folding tables. Mavis lived in a tidy, cream-colored bungalow with green shutters, a neat gravel drive, and a front porch where the wind chimes rang with the exact kind of innocent cheerfulness that usually preceded somebody asking for help. Her late husband, Earl, had been practical in all the serious ways and wildly impractical in a few unforgettable ones. He could repair a fence, replace a faucet, and sharpen kitchen knives so well that vegetables practically confessed before being cut. But he also loved entering local raffles with the irrational confidence of a man who had never once considered the possibility that the prize might be ugly. Over the course of 45 years of marriage, he brought home a ceramic frog in overalls, a wrought iron rooster with one suspicious eye, a novelty popcorn cart, a hand-painted bread box shaped like a barn, and finally, in what Mavis still considered his decorative masterpiece, a 6-foot fiberglass carrot. He won it at the county fair after a misunderstanding involving raffle tickets, a church fundraiser table, and the sentence, "Well, if I've already written my name, I may as well commit." The carrot was painted a cheerful, aggressive orange with a glossy green top and stood on a circular metal base like a monument to poor impulse control. Earl adored it immediately. He brought it home in the back of his truck, positioned it in the garage beside the lawnmower, crossed his arms, and announced that every respectable property needed at least one object too ridiculous to explain quickly. Mavis had laughed so hard she had to sit down on an overturned bucket. From then on, the carrot remained. It survived summer heat, one tornado watch, 3 family reunions, a leaking roof, and every year after Earl died, when the garage grew tidier and the house grew quieter, but the absurd things he had loved kept holding their ground. Mavis never threw the carrot away. She dusted it in spring. She once told the pest control man not to lean his sprayer against it because that vegetable has seniority. Her 2 closest friends were Dolores Ann Pickens, 73, retired church secretary, owner of a floral purse large enough to hold medicine, mints, a folded umbrella, and a surprisingly judgmental pen, and a woman who could detect gossip from changes in sidewalk pacing, and Harold Boone, 82, former hardware manager, amateur chess tyrant, and a man who trusted black coffee, flashlights, and his own instincts more than he trusted smart devices, themed decor, or anyone who used the phrase interactive experience with a straight face. Every Thursday morning, the 3 met at Wanda's kitchen, where the biscuits were the size of small roof tiles and the coffee was strong enough to improve character. The waitress, a broad-shouldered saint named Becky, called everyone sugar in a tone that somehow sounded kind and faintly corrective at the same time. One Thursday in early April, Mavis arrived 12 minutes late, carrying a stack of laminated cards and an expression so sharpened by insult that Dolores put down her toast before biting it, and Harold lowered his mug without taking the sip he had clearly earned. "That face," Dolores said, narrowing her eyes, "means either the churchwomen have launched another committee or somebody has used your property in a way God did not intend." Mavis sat down, set the laminated cards on the table, and said, "Apparently I am now chairwoman of the Spring Gardening Jubilee." Harold blinked once, Dolores blinked twice. Becky stopped in the aisle with the coffee pot halfway tilted. "You are the what?" Dolores asked. Mavis slid one of the cards across the table. It was bright green and decorated with little flowers, watering cans, and a smiling sun that looked emotionally unstable. Across the top were the words, "Bloom Again, Festival." Beneath that, in cheerful block letters, was printed, "Hosted by Community Garden Ambassador Mavis Chandler." "I am not a garden ambassador," Mavis said. "I have never ambassadorsed anything." Yesterday, a man named Phil called to ask whether heirloom tomatoes would be judged on flavor or emotional backstory. Then a woman wanted to know if succulence counted as hope. At 6:20 this morning, somebody left a voicemail asking whether decorative gourds belonged in the beginner division. Becky slowly set down the pot. "This," she said, "is top shelf." Younger people might think a mistaken flyer could be fixed with one apology and a corrected print run, but younger people do not understand retirees and community festivals. In a retirement town, a garden festival is not just a pleasant event about flowers. It is horticulture, rivalry, pie, unresolved widowhood, hydration strategy, and the quiet belief that one's zinnias say something about moral character. By the time breakfast arrived, half the diner knew that Mavis Lou Chandler had somehow been appointed public overseer of a gardening celebration she had never agreed to lead. A man at the counter asked whether there would still be a category for best container with personality. A woman by the pie case declared that the whole event had already become suspicious because there is no reason for marigolds to have 3 subcategories unless favoritism is involved. Becky brought Mavis extra bacon for structural support. Dolores turned over the paper placemat and wrote, "Carrot incident" in thick block capitals. "We're investigating," she announced. Mavis Seahill, "We're eating breakfast." "Both can happen," Harold replied, which was exactly the sort of sentence older people use when meddling has already promoted itself to public duty inside their heads. By 10:30, they were at the community center, where a volunteer in a sunflower visor looked up from the registration table and said, "Oh good, Miss Chandler, the carrot's already here." Mavis stopped dead. "The carrot is where?" "On the main stage." "It looks great." Mavis closed her eyes for one long second. No, it turned out the real organizer was not Mavis Chandler at all, but Martha Chandler. No relation, a 76-year-old recreation board enthusiast who loved themed events, matching badges, and the phrase, "celebrating growth in all forms," which Harold immediately declared dangerous language. Somewhere between the committee email, the print proof, and the church bulletin insert, Martha had become Mavis. Since Mavis was the better-known Chandler in town, and since everyone in 3 counties remembered Earl's ridiculous giant carrot, the mistake had spread with the effortless confidence of a rumor that arrives dressed as fact. They found Martha in the activity room, arranging little ribbon rosettes around seed packets, and the moment she saw Mavis, she developed the expression of a woman whose soul had just requested legal counsel. "Oh dear," she said weakly. "That is not a solution," Mavis replied. "Why is my dead husband's fiberglass produce involved in civic operations?" Martha confessed in a rush. The Bloom Again Festival had been intended as a fundraiser for the senior shuttle and community greenhouse. She had booked the hall, arranged judges, designed booth maps, printed entry passes, borrowed tables, ordered lemonade, and created novelty awards including Most Hopeful Petunia and Courteous Use of Raised Beds. But when the flyer proof came back, the host line was wrong. The wrong Chandler was printed. No one noticed. 200 copies went out through the church, the pharmacy, the beauty salon, and the public library before correction became physically impossible. "So," Mavis said in the calm voice that meant someone else had a limited future, "because my husband once won a carrot the size of a 3rd grader, and because your proofreading standards are feral, half this town believes I am the keeper of horticultural joy." Martha nodded weakly. Harold made a low sound in his throat, suggesting he found the whole situation constitutionally offensive. Dolores folded her arms. "How many entrants?" Martha looked down. 44, Mavis stared. "Entrants. Some are floral, some are produce, one is decorative moss. That does not comfort me." She should have walked out. Any reasonable woman would have walked out. But one glance at the registration board and all reason evaporated. There were handwritten notes everywhere. No steps due to hip, avoid table near wasps, not next to Eunice because of last year's squash issue, prefers partial shade and partial conversation, allergic to lilies and bragging. If she walked away, the entire event would collapse into chaos, bruised feelings, spilled lemonade, and at least one elderly man using hedge trimmers in a morally ambiguous way. "I will help untangle this," she said at last, "because otherwise a room full of old people is going to turn petunias into a blood sport." The week that followed became absurdity in concentrated form. Mavis fielded calls about soil, ribbons, sun exposure, categories, trowel etiquette, and whether decorative wheelbarrows belonged under craftsmanship or whimsy. A widow named Jean wanted to know if entering both dahlias and cucumber relish seemed desperate. A man named Norman asked whether his bonsai counted as gardening or discipline. Another woman wanted assurance that no one would be allowed to weaponize native plants for moral superiority. Dolores took over the phone one afternoon and became so efficient that 3 people withdrew voluntarily. Harold handled equipment logistics with the grim, satisfied focus of a man who